Hey guys, it's Angus, and today I'm going to give you a full review of the Sony HT-CT60BT Soundbar. So to put it straight, it's basically the upgrade from the Sony HT-CT60, and the main improvements involved in this is the extra include of Bluetooth and NFC. But unfortunately there aren't any other improvements apart from that. It's got the same total watt output, which is 60 watts in total, and 30 watts for each speaker, which includes the subwoofer and the main speaker. So the connections on this soundbar are quite limited. It's got optical audio in, Bluetooth, NFC, Coaxial and analog, and of course the port for the surround sound, which you may need, and the sound subwoofer. So I personally think the design of the soundbar is really great. It's got a really nice grey and black finish, it's smooth edges. Also the hexagonal shape is really sensible to use for the sound. Also it just looks really cool, and the way they've designed it to make it thin and long just really makes good sense, and it just looks perfect as well. I also really like the design as well because it has a really premium feel, and I really like that especially because this is quite a low budget speaker. So the main problem with the speaker really is the connectivity. It's not bad as it does have Bluetooth and NFC, but it just doesn't have aux, and I think this is completely unacceptable for a speaker. Aux is of course one of the most popular connections as it's used in almost all mobile devices, and this one just doesn't have it. It's just completely pointless. Portable speakers have it, even car stereos have it, but this hasn't, and I just find that really disappointing. The fact that you can take out the power cord is a really nice feature Sony have included, as it makes it really well suited to moving it around. While the Bluetooth in this is really fantastic, the NFC I find is quite pointless because there are very little devices that actually use NFC. So of course the other options for the connectivity is coaxial and analog, but I really don't like this option as it's quite difficult to find the cables, and I also found when I was using those options for the connections, it seemed to give off a worse sound. Good thing about the speaker is the sound. It is absolutely amazing. It's really crisp, clear, it's very loud, and it's very impressive. It certainly enhances the TV experience, especially for the budget. So I've owned a surround sound speaker myself, and I can definitely say that it doesn't incredibly enhance the surround sound experience, but it definitely does give a really nice sound. So for around £100 you really are getting a truly excellent speaker. So Sony of course have claimed that this is a soundbar. It isn't, it's a sound TV bar. Now what I mean by that is it's completely dedicated for connecting to TVs and not other devices on its own. It's going to be well suited to connecting to sound bars and other surround sound speakers, but if you're going to find that you're going to be using this for say a desktop, then you're going to find it's much more difficult because I've tried it myself and it's very difficult to try and connect it to other devices. So what's included for the soundbar for £109 is of course the soundbar, the subwoofer, the remote, an optical audio cable and some instructions. If Sony really wanted to nail this TV speaker, I'd recommend that they either include a HDMI port or an aux port. So the ergonomics of the remote are quite bad. While it is very thin and light, it is not well suited for the hand, and it can get very uncomfortable when you use it for quite a long time. The remote it comes with is very small, and it is suited to other Sony devices because if you find at the top there is a button dedicated to Sony TVs, and I think that's quite clever, but of course if you don't have a Sony TV then it's a completely useless button. So that is my review of the Sony HT-CT60BT Soundbar. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, and thanks for watching. It's USB, which uses the power, and a 3.5mm jack cable, which is for the sound. Now, because the USB cable powers the actual speakers, it means you don't need a power cable, and I think this is really helpful. Unfortunately, even